I'm Simon Amann. I wish you a very good, happy New Year, and you're watching Sports Insider with me.
It's like a small warm-up. You check if everything's all right, so it's similar to ski jumping. In ski jumping, you reach your limit quicker than in flying. That's why I enjoy every second in the plane.
In 2002 at Salt Lake City, Simon Amann won 2 Olympic gold medals. 8 years later in Vancouver, he'd do it again and become something of a legend.
Mysterious, the Harry Potter of his time.
Simon is unique, goal-driven, diligent, and happy.
The first time he won the 2 goals, it was kind of surprising because he hadn't been dominating that hard, and then all of a sudden, boom, there he was, 2 gold medals. So that's one thing, because then it's like, you know, everything happens at the right time, but then to do the exact same thing later, it's very impressive.
There's certain athletes who are exceptionally good at rising to the occasion. They prepare well, they're willing to make the sacrifices, and they have the confidence in their preparation. It seems like most of the other guys don't make those same sacrifices, and I think that affects their ability to perform on a given day.
As a boy, he dreamed about this, and he realized this dream because he's been jumping at the very high level for such a long time.
To understand Simon Amann, we have to go to where it all started, a village in Switzerland, where he took his first steps, where he built his philosophy of life. We have to go to Unterwasser.
Das hat hier in Unterwasser sicher ein eigenes Charme.
Unterwasser had and still has its own charm.
Immer noch, ja, wir sind
That's why I still love to be here with my whole family.
Mit der ganzen Familie, wenn wir Zeit
we find time together.
Es war super als
It was a great starting point.
Da muss man einfach auch mit Ausdauer hingehen. Und das nicht im physischen Sinne jetzt als Skispringer, sondern
as a ski jumper, you need to be patient, and I learned that here from the farmers, who, because of their job, they have to be patient. When it's time to harvest the hay, you have to work hard.
In der Landwirtschaft sowieso, da geht es eigentlich das rund ums Jahr, ja. Und wenn man dann
to see that kind of philosophy again and again, it was great for me. You also get beautiful days like this in autumn.
Dann weiß man ja.
In terms of my career. Well, I'm in my autumn too, aren't I?
Und da muss man einfach dann auch dran gehen. Und das immer wieder vor Augen zu haben,
this is my Indian summer.
Super für mich.
And with that, I meant that everything that comes after 2010.
Das ist schon lange mein Herbst. Irgendwann habe ich mal gesagt, das ist jetzt mein Indian Summer.
But I've been in my autumn for a long time. So yeah, maybe I'm reaching winter.
Aber es ist schon lange Herbst und vielleicht gehen wir einfach in den Winter.
Simon was barely 10 years old when he took off from a ski jumping hill for the first time. On his feet, a pair of alpine skis. He didn't have far to go to experience the thrill, just to the next village. But the hill, naturally, seemed huge.
It's 30 meters, which is a little big. If you look closely, you see there's no gates from which you could have started in the middle, for example. You just stood there in the line and watched the others jump, and your eyes became bigger and bigger, your heart beating faster and faster.
After just 3 training jumps, a competition was organized for the new boys, and Simon had to overcome his fear.
I have to say, it helped that my brothers were there, because it was kind of scary when you're waiting in line, and suddenly you know there's no way back. So in the end, you just had to jump. Luckily, I landed that jump, and then your feelings, well, they're overwhelming. You're really happy and proud. But I was also astonished that it could work out, because on the hill, you feel so much respect. But then experiencing this emotion, it's a roller coaster. It gives you a great kick, even the first time you do it.
His first competition, his first win, and a first medal to show his parents.
Well, this was the attitude of my parents. They thought, as long as we have fun, we should be allowed to do it. But of course we had to go to school as well, and that was good. We just had to work out in parallel, and since it worked out, we were all happy. But for me it was clear that I was only apt for jumping. I've always been a rather lanky boy, and therefore I had to train a lot to be physically adequate. Life here taught me to be patient, do things slowly. Maybe that's why I'm still jumping. And I've noticed for myself that I possess a great level of perseverance. Nicht im Ausdauersport, aber doch auch in der Ausdauer, in der Beharrlichkeit da dabei zu sein.
In a little more than 10 years, Simon will become a double Olympic gold medalist, and he'd go on to win a World Cup and 2 more Olympic titles. But why keep the trophies in the local bank? The relation to my medals has 2 sides. As long as I'm an active athlete, I kind of ignore them, really. But I'm happy that they're here in a safe place. I hope that someday, when I retire from my active career, I'll have more of a relaxed relation to them. Maybe I'll take them home. Maybe we'll create a place where we can lock them all together. But let's take a look at them.
Also, schauen wir sie uns an.
Simon hadn't laid his eyes on the medals since shortly after the Vancouver Olympics 5 years ago.
So, rein.
It would stir the memories.
Also,
so this is from Vancouver. Makes my pulse rise a little bit. Yeah, this was the big hill.
Large hill. Also,
I'll have to put it on for a while.
Muss ich sogar mal ein bisschen anlegen. Ja, die ist
a little bit heavier than the one from Salt Lake City. Well, there's not as much gold on it as seems, but in the end it has symbolic value. It weighs more than anything else. Yeah, I have to calm myself down for a minute. It's like a little ceremony for me.
Nicht so lange, nicht
but
so lange.
Not that long. It's very emotional for me. I have to be aware of my hands to stay calm. Sometimes I don't get myself either. I don't know why I don't look at them more often. I just can't explain it. Let's put the medal back with the others, so it's not all alone.
Kommen natürlich mit zurück, damit sie nicht ganz allein ist. Und hier
now I'll take out the case from Salt Lake City. It's a bit bulkier. They're a little bit bigger back then.
The Olympic champion and gold medalist representing Switzerland, Simone Ammann.
That's one of those rare moments in which I show them. I've never shown them all together. That's why I presented them separately. But, there will be that moment in which I'll present them all together at once. I think I'll lose my voice a bit by doing that. That's probably the way it should be.
Und so soll es sein.
Coming next, the exercises, physical and technical, that Simon Ammann performs every day, plus the work on the hill itself. Stay with us. Bischofshofen. Last season, the final stop in the Four Hills tournament. Simon Ammann had made the podium twice in 3 events. Now, on January the 6th, this was his final jump.
Simon Ammann, der Mann, der nie die Vierschanzentournee gewinnen konnte bis jetzt. Aber der geht's.
Oh, der war besser.
Oh nein, nicht schon wieder.
The fall resulted in concussion. Nevertheless, a few weeks later, he would return to competition.
I had some psychological barriers and still do. But overcoming them, that's part of being an athlete.
Far from wanting to quit, Simon gave himself new challenges. Firstly, he wanted to change the way he made the telemark landing, putting his right foot in front instead of his left. He also began to focus on something that had been stirring at the back of his mind, a new distance record.
Yeah, that would be my goal, to fly 255 meters, or at least to do 250. That's my goal. For a long time, my goal was 240 meters, but now since they set the record so high, 250 is the minimum you have to jump to be one of the biggest ski flyers. And that's my dream.
To achieve his goal, his week is mapped out. Monday, working on power. Tuesday and Thursday, on the hill. Wednesday and Friday, strength and stretching. The gate to the monastery may be locked, but it does not prevent Simon from reaching the section where the Swiss team has facilities and equipment, some of which is handmade.
I've been doing this so many years, I sometimes ask myself why. The nice thing is about training is that it's really honest with you. It tells you exactly where you are. The older you get, the better you have to be prepared. My younger colleagues make fun of me because I start my training routines when they're almost finished.
Erst mit dem Training beginnen, wenn sie schon fast fertig sind.
Well, here you can train all the procedures. You can improve your position during the in-run. You can train in every style. Maybe you want to jump a little bit more aggressively, or forwards in another style. That's why such an imitation hill is so helpful. Nevertheless, a very important part of this is thinking about the training itself. You may influence the training using a computer, but eventually it's you who has to transfer all this to the hill. These are the two aspects that have confronted our modern society in the age of digitalization.
For us, it's
pretty important, especially for the position. You can see some jumpers stabilizing themselves shortly after they leave the start position, and that's exactly what you can train on with this apparatus. This precision, it's the very essence of our sport.
das Ein und Alles bei uns. Hast du zum Beispiel bei Severin letztes Jahr sehr schön gesehen.
You could see this perfectly with Severin last year. He flew straight as an arrow. His arms were perfectly stretched out. It was picture perfect. He jumped and you could see that his power flowed through his body. And if you can see that, you know what your goal should be.
Selber, wenn man das so beobachtet, weiß man auch, wo man hin sollte, ja.
From the training centre, a short journey across town takes Simon to the hill at Einsiedeln. And just because you're an Olympic champion doesn't mean you don't need a specialist to analyse your jumps. Simon is going to work with the boss of Swiss ski jumping, Bernie Schödler.
I think it was extremely good. I liked it a lot. Nice long pressure. It was a really nice jump.
Ever since that first jump from the hill in Wildhaus, I had ski jumping fever. Something from which I've never been cured. It's just incredible being on top of the ski jumping hill. Just a little bit fearful, and then landing the jump safely on your feet. It's just an incredible feeling. I still have that feeling today.
Dann ist es Wahnsinn, das Gefühl, und ist es immer geblieben.
At the end of training, it's time for a debrief with Bernie Schödler. Each jump is analysed in detail, with a critical eye from both men.
I think that the position of your head isn't bad either. Here you went down a little more on one side. You have to draw your legs up, which is kind of difficult as regards the timing. In this phase, you're flying the same way.
Yeah, maybe I didn't finish that right, because I had another phase here that's actually not necessary. It shouldn't be so stretched. Yeah, somehow I couldn't do that right during the jump.
So you don't have that phase. Maybe you should do the counter movement a little earlier. But here I don't get the impression that you push the skis forward with your legs. Here you hesitate for a second, then you get in this position. That's a little bit too early.
That's because it's a bit too flat for me. Look, here you're flying along the hill. Here it's actually quite flat, from 95 to 105 metres. And if you come that flat, you don't know exactly how far you're going to jump. That's the part you still feel a bit insecure. Yeah, there's still a lot of work for me to do.
You're watching Simon Ammann, The Never-Ending Flight. And coming next, what the future holds in store for him beyond ski jumping. In just a moment. Simon Ammann has become a famous name in winter sport across the world. And yet, he remains grounded in his village and its roots. He cares passionately about Unterwasser and the surrounding valley. That's why he didn't hesitate when a company came along with a local project in mind. He decided to invest in the company and not simply as a basic shareholder.
Ich bin da hineingerutscht in den Verwaltungsrat.
I kind of slipped into the board of directors. First you have to be elected by the shareholders, which worked out pretty well for me. It's a great feeling to be able, as a shareholder, to give something back to this village, to the whole valley, which is still developing. For me, it's kind of crazy to think about this being life after my career. I'm beginning to accept it. Actually, I'm happy about it.
Der Prozess vom Sport loszulassen, der braucht einfach seine Zeit auch. Und
just that process of letting sport go, which just takes time. And if I retire from the sport someday, just already have an idea of what might come afterwards.
Gibt, was nachher kommen kann.
It's going to be a fine day in Unterwasser. Just the weather to visit one of the projects that Simon has become involved in creatively. Melanie Eppenberger is the president of the company responsible for the project. Together, they ride to the top of the mountain to see the work in progress on an ecologically sound, ultra-modern mountain restaurant.
Simon is for us of great value because he's very creative and engaged. We can consider ourselves lucky to have him here for various projects. What we cherish about you is your diversity. The interaction of that down-to-earth attitude, tradition, cosmopolitanism and innovative spirit is just perfect. That's why your career and our project fit perfectly together.
I have to admit, as an athlete, it's a great relief for me to be able to look into the future with some kind of tranquility, and I'm happy to be allowed to present such a beautiful thing to the world. I'm looking for a job in which you can connect my home with the world. That will be a working world in which I'll be working in a very dedicated way, like I do in sports. If not, then I'll just be a great dad, because as an athlete, you always put your heart in the things you do. You always want to push yourself. You notice that you might have to take a small detour in your life in order to get where you want to be.
Das macht einem wahrscheinlich auch ein bisschen Angst vor dem Aufhören, denke ich. Und
and that's why I'm a little bit afraid of quitting.
Ich bin da durchaus dran,
right now, I'm working on specifying all this.
Und dann eben auch
I'm also slowly entering the comfort zone.
Mich da wohlzufühlen. Und ich werde dem Sport sowieso verbunden bleiben. Wenn du gut springst, dann macht es Spaß, sobald es dort
then you enjoy yourself. But if the performances aren't there anymore, I'd struggle. And therefore, I'm glad I've got a few ideas about the time after my career.
Es ist gut, dass ich schon ein paar Ideen für danach habe.
Simon Ammann certainly has plenty of options. But at the moment, he's thinking along the lines of becoming a businessman or possibly a professional pilot. He's already a private pilot, but he wants to take it further as an intellectual exercise, if nothing else.
I'm doing the airline training just because I'm curious. There's a lot of things that interest me in this training. There's the mathematics, the legal situations. Flying and everything belongs to it, gives you a different perspective. A very important point for me is to get my brain working again. Makes a lot of sense to me. I've gone to school for a long time now. Since coordinated studies are almost impossible for me, flying fits into my needs.
Eher schwierig ist, das hinzubekommen, ist die Fliegerei absolut top. Aber ob ich dann in der
Nevertheless, I'm not sure at all if one day I'm going to sit in an airliner. It's a very modern and automated workplace. Many occasions I've been allowed to sit in a cockpit, and I've really enjoyed it.
Ja, ich durfte schon oft im Cockpit mitfliegen.
But is this going to be my future
Ja,
job?
habe es auch wahnsinnig immer
I just really
genossen.
don't
Aber ob
know.
ich dann dort lande, weiß ich noch nicht.